Hello there, welcome to Saberduelgaming, where we always take the high ground. On the 24th of July 2025, Hulk Hogan, real name Terry Bollea, passed away. He was one of the most iconic professional wrestlers of all time and had featured in many video games throughout those years, both as wrestler and in his roles in Hollywood movies and as DLC, just being a cultural icon. But he featured regularly on Saberduelgaming as well. So join us today as we take a look at the best of Hulk Hogan on Saberduelgaming. Hulk Hogan featured in many of our live streams and Saberduel wrestling events. And we're going to take a look at 5 of those best matches and events that he took part in, whether they were part of a standalone or a bit of a storyline. After his death, I did a special one-off stream with a number of his matches on, where we tried to relive some of his greatest matches ever, and in number 5 we have the retelling of his match with Andre the Giant. This was a match that they had numerous times, but most famously at WrestleMania 3, so we wanted to try and relive that with a modern Saberduel wrestling twist. We gave Hogan his original classical look, and it was one hell of a good fight. Andre the Giant was a massive test for the Hulkster, but with a body slam and of course the iconic leg drop, Hulk Hogan, as he did in real life, got the win and the 1-2-3 victory over the Giant. At 4, it is Hollywood Hogan, and this comes from our YouTube Mania 2025 stream. This was part of an NWO versus Bloodline storyline, and it was a Bloodline rules match. This is a match type where basically numerous people will interfere throughout the match to support one person or the other. Roman was set to be assisted by multiple members of the Bloodline, while Hulk Hogan was going to be joined by NWO members and Seth Rollins, a major enemy of Roman Reigns. These kind of matches are always good fun, but very chaotic, but this one in particular was a solid match before there was any interference, and I was joined in doing this match by my nephew and good friend, the Gaming Lord 04, fellow YouTuber, so check out his channel. He played as Roman Reigns, while I played as Hollywood Hogan. Had a number of highlights and big scraps before anyone else actually interfered, and this had been part of an ongoing storyline which had also seen the NWO and Bloodline teams exchange the tag team titles, but this was the big blow off and this was the main event of the stream. Once Seth Rollins got involved, it was clear that the one-on-one technical wrestling aspect had completely given away, and all hell was set to break loose. The Rock's father, High Chief Peter Maivia, was next to come down to help, before we had other members of the Bloodline and NWO all making their way to the ring. We had The Rock coming in, the People's Champion, the Great One, before we were soon joined by Kevin Nash. The chaos didn't end there, of course, and soon even more people were set to make their way down. This was the first time I'd ever actually done a Bloodline rules match on a live stream, and it was absolute chaos, but so much fun. As the match progressed, it started to become really hectic with so many people involved. Scott Hall made his way down, the former Razor Ramon, and they were finally all filled. Everyone was there, and it felt like after a while it was going to be impossible to win. Every time someone went for a move or a pinfall, we either had a counter or someone coming in to break up the pin. In the end, however, the Gaming Lord 04, as Roman Reigns, was able to hit the spear and eventually get the 1-2-3 to crown himself the tribal chief, and with the Ulafala, Roman Reigns got the victory over Hulk Hogan. A fantastic visual to end our stream. But in third place, it's another match with the Bloodline, this one being from the year before, again YouTube Mania. This time around, it was The Rock and Roman Reigns challenging the Macho Man Randy Savage and Hulk Hogan, the Mega Powers, for the Saberduel Wrestling, or as it was called at the time, YouTube Mania, Tag Team titles. This was not NWO Hulk Hogan, this was red and yellow, Immortal Hulk Hogan, but the result would be strikingly similar. The Rock and Roman Reigns were absolutely on fire for most of this fight, and again, I was joined by the Gaming Lord 04. In this one, me and the Gaming Lord 04 played as Roman Reigns and The Rock, going up against Hollywood Hogan and the Macho Man. This one again was also the main event, which means that 2 years in a row, Hulk Hogan and Roman Reigns main evented a YouTube Mania. Also, The Rock was featured in both of them and had actually featured in the one before. Usually when we play as characters, it's a clear win. However, Hulk Hogan and Macho Man did actually put up one hell of a fight and hit a few really impressive counters. Hulk Hogan in particular managed to hit that fantastic powerbomb you saw there, and even attempted a gorilla press. It just didn't quite pay off for him, and he felt a spear that he would, as we saw earlier, feel again a year later. Hulk Hogan, however, did carry his team to a fantastic fight back, but it was not enough to overcome the Bloodline, and in the end, after a rock bottom, a survived comeback from the Hulk, and a Rock dropping a people's elbow all the way from the top turnbuckle, Roman Reigns and The Rock won the Saberduel Wrestling Tag Team titles. And in second place, it's another match between The Rock this time and Hollywood Hogan, again from our Saberduel Wrestling stream in memory of Hulk Hogan. This one was a retelling of their match at WrestleMania X8. In this one, and I didn't plan this, The Rock actually jumped Hogan before the match started, very clearly setting himself up as the bad guy. And he really laid down a beating, managed to get a sharpshooter in place. However, The Rock was not quite on par with the Hulkster on this day. Hulkster was able to bust him with an exposed turnbuckle, put him through a table with a massive leap that, let's be honest, Hulk Hogan would never be able to do in real life, a body slam, a leg drop, and this time around, Hulk Hogan did stand tall over a Bloodline member. And in first place, my best memory of Hulk Hogan during a Saberduel Wrestling stream, it is the Mega Powers Hulk Hogan and Macho Man Randy Savage challenging D-Generation X for the Saberduel Wrestling Tag Team Championships. D-Generation X had actually won those titles in the first ever YouTube Mania, with them defeating the Nation of Domination. At this point, I didn't do any streams in between, so they'd literally held the title the entire year. And then at YouTube Mania 2, it was going to be the Hulkster and Macho Man, the Mega Powers, challenging for the titles. The theme of YouTube Mania 2 was kinda to have iconic wrestlers from the 80s going up against 90s and modern wrestlers. And the Mega Powers were going to be a featured part of this, with the Hulkster dropping some heavy leg drops, throwing massive body slams, and even taken to the skies as he and Macho Man really laid the smackdown on D-Generation X and became the YouTube Mania, now Saberduel Wrestling Tag Team Champions.